What's good at YouTube? Hey man, listen. At the time of recording this, let's see. We did it, y'all. We did it. There's a video that's dropping before this, so this isn't like current, but we're at 1,036 subscribers. Bro, we did it. I got to 1,000 subscribers in I think 2.5 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, like 2.5. Insane. And we're on pace to hit monetization for my channel in the span of a month. And today I'm giving y'all a longer video. I've seen this. Someone said, well, a few of y'all have said, since I actually make music and I'm a part of like knowing certain things about the industry and how it works, I should react to why Sick Boi is off of all platforms. I'm interested to see what he's gonna say. This is a 35-minute video, so I'm gonna try to make this video not insanely long because it's already a long video. But I know my true renegades are gonna stay and they're gonna watch the whole video. Y'all, I really rock for. I appreciate y'all. So before this, we just had Seven Sins go up, and Seven Sins is fire. It's really thought provoking, and I've actually even listened to it a couple of times when I was on the road yesterday. But yeah, we got why Sick Boi is off all streaming platforms or YouTube. So I was told to react to this before I got to the Kujo Beats thing or Kujo Beatdown. So I'm gonna give this a look. I wanted to get this out the way because it is longer. But yeah, let's see what Ren has to say, man. Let's see what Ren has to say. And I may DM Ren after I'm done with this video just to like thank him for an amazing fan base. Not only that, but just for amazing art. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to support what he's dropping in July. Y'all will probably get this on. I'll probably drop this July 2nd or 3rd. I'll try to get it before the 4th. But let's see what Ren got to say about why this was taken down. Y'all already know. I don't yet, but I'm about to find out. Let's see.
This is a video that I never, ever really wanted to have to make. But it's very important for me that I do. All the time, artists all over the world pour their souls into their work. And that work is tainted by money or greed. Mm-hmm. A lot of you will have been asking me the question why Sick Boi has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me. It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it. And we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend...
So, right off the bat, I want to say that sucks. That freaking sucks. Like, just, I can feel the hurt from that because when you pour so much, not only your own money into something, but you pour time into it. This song was successful, or it still is successful. And everything he did is, you know, a testament to who he is as an artist. It's kind of messed up. It's almost a defeating feeling, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna probably get to that. But I want to hear what he's gonna say happen before I say what I want to say about just a lot of producers nowadays and how they operate in a way that I just don't. I'm gonna see what he has to say first.
And sticking around to the end of this video because I've got a very exciting announcement about all of this that relates to all of this right at the end. People who have been following me for a while, they'll know the sort of person I am, they know the principles that I have, and they'll know how I treat other independent artists. So they'll know why it was so important for me to have to make this video. And I want this to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously I'm emotionally affected by it, and that may leak in, right? But I want to share entire clips of these conversations so there can be no doubt. Also, if Kujo and his girlfriend want to share any...
He seems like, I don't know how long ago was this? This was 10 months ago. He seems hurt by this. Like, it's just his demeanor. I'm sorry. Like, there's little stuff I pick up on, but his demeanor just gives defeated, bro. And I'm glad I got to listen to Sick Boi.
More screenshots of other those conversations. I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge so there can be no doubt rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently what has happened here. To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right?
I knew he was going to BeatStars. I'm going to say what I want to say before he says what he's going to say real quick. BeatStars, to me, I feel like is full of producers that are waiting on an opportunity. They're waiting on an artist who's going to take their beat and just blow up off of it and try to use that to get their own monetary gain instead of just partnering with that artist. Like, for instance, if you go on BeatStars, some people are running deals. You buy one beat, get 2 beats free, or buy 2 beats, get 1 free. And to an artist, when you're looking, especially when they make quality beats, you're looking at this and you're like, okay, this isn't a bad deal. Like, I'm working on an album, I'm working on an EP. I can buy this 1 beat and I can get 2 for free, or I can buy 2 beats and I can get another one for free. That's 3 beats right there, and I get to choose these different things for my album. And what producers on BeatStars, I feel like, fail to realize is you mess up a lot of your big networking opportunities when you try to screw over an artist, especially an artist that takes off. Because 9 times out of 10, there are some big artists that will get beats off of BeatStars, but a lot of people buying beats off of BeatStars, my friends and people on my collective label included, we're just making it for fun. We have no idea whether or not the song is going to blow up. To us, we love every song. Every song is like a curated baby. You know, we treat these songs like our babies, our child. And if a song so happens to blow up, we're now penalized because of how good our craft, combined with your craft, took off. It shouldn't be like, hey man, I need this. Now I'm gonna need you to do this, or you can't use my beat. It just doesn't make sense. Before I elaborate on that any further, I want to just see what he's going to get into. But I feel like that's the direction this is going. Is that he took something and he bought a beat and blew up, and this producer just got greedy.
Anyone who doesn't know context for all of this, back in 2000.
I got a drink too, by the way. Kool-Aid.
2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? For anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration.
And
what I would usually do is buy a beat, arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that. I find this banging beat, right, from a producer called Kujo Beats, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very...
He's getting into everything because I know BeatStars. I have a friend right now who's working on an EP, and I may react, if y'all want me to react to his EP on my channel when it comes out, because he's an amazing artist, amazing songwriter, and an amazing producer. He does a lot of the same things as Ren, and I feel like y'all would love his music. And his next project, I feel like, is all about being honest. Not to plug him in or anything, but it's just, I feel like his work should be heard. I figured he got an unlimited license, so he can use it for recording music. He can distribute unlimited copies. He can he gets... Y'all see it here. I'm about to point to it. This is how into it I am. Unlimited online audio streams. He gets to do a music video. He gets to do for-profit live performances and radio broadcasting rights at unlimited stations. This is where greed comes in.
Important to keep in mind for...
And I'm going to try to stop pausing because this is a 35-minute video and I need to get through this. And I'll try to pause like every 5 or so minutes.
Later on, right? I buy an unlimited license, which means that I am able to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording on platforms like YouTube, etc. Right? After I do this, I send my YouTube guy that I work with, and I send the publishing team an email, just giving them a heads up, being like, "Yo, guys, I bought this beat. They need to be registered correctly. Content ID needs to be turned off." I'll put a clip of that. I'm putting screenshots of those.
Hey guys, because Sick Boi was a licensed beat, thought I'd send you guys this to make sure nothing will be breaching the contract. We'll need to turn the content ID off when distributing the audio and visual.
Messages here, just in case Kujo claims I never did this. I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him on Spotify credits and stuff like that as well, because sometimes artists don't always fully credit producers. I think that I forgot to do it in the YouTube description for like the first month or two, and then I updated it, and then he was fully credited the whole time, right? That was just a lapse because there was a lot going on. I was in Canada treating and stuff. But anyway, he was credited fully, like very soon in everywhere. And as far as I was aware, registered everywhere. So I don't think anything of it, right? Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the beat has to own the beat. And
producer warrants that he did not sample any copyrighted material or sound recording belonging to any other person's firm or corporation without first having notified licensee. Yep.
if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to let you know. This is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right? So yeah, I think there's no problems. I buy the beat, I record a song. This is before things have blown up with my music, so I'm still pretty underground artist at this point. I record the track, put it out. I even get a message from him at some point, which is also important to remember because of the hypocrisy of this whole situation. That's like, wicked, I love the track. Okay? Remember that too. Before I begin, I just want to add this. I have no problem with BeatStars. I think they're a very innovative company who actually help people make art, which I'm very, very passionate about. I think the contracts and the things you're getting into could be clearer, because we're now in a situation negotiating older tracks bought from BeatStars. I would love to talk to the if anyone from there is watching, I imagine they will be at some point. I would love to talk to the CEO, founder of BeatStars, face to face, just because I want to understand how something like this could have happened, and I want to understand why it escalated the way it did, because from what I've heard, he's someone who cares a lot about artists, and someone who creates a platform like that, I think, must be very passionate about music. I'd love to chat to you if you're listening, and I'd love to figure out why this happened and how we can stop things like this happening in the future. I also think that there needs to be a bit more stringent checks on if people are selling unlicensed samples, because then things tend to get a little bit sticky like they have here. Anyway, that's it. I have no problem with BeatStars, because I'm not interested in going to war with them, because I think that it's really cool that there's a platform like that exists for artists and producers to be connected.
Yep.
Just thought I'd put that out there, make that clear. Right, so I arrive home from Canada after a 1.5 year long treatment of treating brain damage and autoimmunity, which a lot of you will know if you've been following my journey. And I'm expecting a nice 2 weeks with my mates before I do my first ever solo show in 5 years because of my health. So I'm just like, I want a nice chill time. I want to be able to focus on rehearsing and stuff. Very early on, I wake up to a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boi has been taken down. So I look at it, and sure enough, it's been copyright striked from this guy Kujo Beats' channel. And initially I'm like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. So like, I don't take it too seriously. I send him a message like, yo, there must have been a technical error or something here. No response for 2 days. So I'm like, what's going on? So I check his channel, and then I see a comment of that beat that he licensed me, and I see a comment that's like, Ren has left me no choice. I'm sorry that I had to do this. And I'm like, okay, so this was intentional. Like, what? Like, the last conversation I had with this guy was months ago, with him being like, yo, big up your work, it's sick. So I'm like super confused about it. So I send him another email like, dude, what's going on? Again, I get absolutely no response. So I put a comment in his YouTube comment section, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get hold of you. Why are you ignoring me? Like, I just want to resolve this amicably.
Hey man, dispute. If you haven't been, it's totally my bad. I was going through brain damage treatment at the time of your message. In regards to the sample, we got a message saying that the sample of the choir had not been cleared, but I had nothing to do with what happened next. That was my publisher. They just told me that they were dealing with it, and I heard nothing about it since I'm really confused. I'm really confused about what's going on, but I love to sort it out so everyone's happy, because I don't want, for your sake or for mine, for this to need to get legal. Yep. Bro, even in this, he's trying to figure out if it was a misstep on his side, or someone on his side said something out of order. He wants to fix it. Again, this isn't attacking. This isn't, going at this guy. He's like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. If it's on my end, yo, my bad. I'll take all responsibility for it. I'll fix it. I don't want this going anywhere, you know, legal, because neither one of us needs that.
What's going on? Finally, I get a response on Instagram, and for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these responses in their full form so that there can be no doubt as to what happened. I'm just going to read out like the key moments and explain the key moments. But if anyone's like interested in deep diving so there can be no doubt as to what's happened here, feel free to pause it. If Kujo and his girlfriend, like I said, feel like I've left anything out, they are welcome to post it. I have nothing to hide about this situation. So he responds and he tells me that he's been talking to my lawyer for months, which I have no idea.
I'm sorry, y'all. I kind of want to read all this because I'm into this stuff. Candidate, not to request a strike since I wanted to avoid this type of situation. My rep has been in contact with your lawyer, who has been exceedingly incompetent in handling. Again, I'm sorry for this total cock up, and I hope you're doing okay. We have been in negotiations with blank for many months, according to the industry standards. So yeah, I'd say talk to blank and see what he says. I'm still waiting on updates from my rep at BeatStars. Man, I had no idea at all you were even talking to. He should have told you. All I was told is that a couple months ago the choir sample had been cleared, and that they were chasing us for money, and that it was being dealt with. So I figured it was being sorted behind the scenes. That's why this has all been so surprising. So also made aware of that, and I'm sorry it caused you trouble. Yeah, man, sorry this caught you off guard. Okay.
About I've been in Canada, and he seems like quite a nice guy initially, so I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor and that, I was like, this has probably just been a misunderstanding and something's gone wrong here. Don't worry, he seems like you're all right, dude. We will sort this out. But then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video.
To all coming from Ren Sick Boi, I have waited over a year for Ren and his team to follow the terms of the contract they signed for this beat. During the whole period, I have not issued any strikes with the faith that they would make things right. I asked my legal representative not to issue strikes initially, as I had hoped Ren and his team would have done the right thing. Unfortunately, they have delayed and avoided providing any reasonable terms to my team with shamefully long periods of silence. Respect the terms of the contract. Don't spread
video saying that I'm lying.
And this makes me
about the situation.
I digress.
When I thought that we like on the same page here, so I pull him up on it, and he's like, "Oh no, I didn't say you were lying," when he clearly did. That should have been like the first red flag.
Gaslighting? Yep, gaslighting.
For me, but
why just respond to him? Don't go back to the comment, edit anything. Just respond to Ren and let him know what's going on, because right now you're leaving him in the dark.
Still give him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe another misunderstanding. Anyway, so I contact my lawyer to find out what the hell's happening, because I'm in the dark about all of this situation, and he explains to me that I've been sold a beat with a stolen sample, with an unlicensed sample, and that the Bulgarian choir sample owners had chased him and gone, look, you've used this beat without permission, you've used this sample without permission, and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split. And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to Kujo and gone, look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this in bad faith, basically. And they've gone, no, we're not going to absorb that. And then it's escalated, and I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow with the responses, they also, keep in mind, I don't know any of this is happening right now. To get my attention, they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way, and the video gets taken down as a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think, because it would have been a good idea to contact me, maybe, like anyone.
And I can say, as somebody who don't even have a real strong following on social media, I got in contact with Ren easily. So he's not wrong here. You could have contacted him easily. DM, phone call, anything. You could have asked whoever was speaking to you to, hey, can you have Ren reach out? It's easy, especially when you already have that connect. He's already bought something from you. Just reach out to him. it's so easy to get in contact with him. Like, and I'm hoping I can have a conversation with him eventually. And I don't know, maybe the Renegades can um, have him reach out to me because I would love to like just talk about his experience as an independent artist, as an independent artist as I'm one myself. Because I'm getting ready to release a song of my own called "My Jehovah" about my struggles and things I've dealt with, and the turnaround of that. And I'm trying to decide whether to drop that here or another channel. But it's just, I don't know. I'm interested in this stuff because I want to know more about what his experience has been like, and if there's anything close to this has happened again. That's why I really want to kind of like sit down and talk with them.
First, if this was getting so like blown up, like maybe the lawyers, maybe Kujo could have actually reached out to me, the artist. Nobody did. So I found that a bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read another comment that Kujo's posted.
We can talk on Instagram or email if you want. I've been in negotiation with your lawyer for months without receiving any satisfactory response. You have yet to pay me the royalties you owe, and I think it's cowardly of you to pretend like you have.
They're calling me a coward to pay the royalties he's owed, and I'm like, what royalty? That's also, in my head, the publishers are just paying him the money, and now the situation has to change until everyone agrees on it. But I wasn't even privy to that conversation about what a fair split should be yet. So I was like, what? I don't owe you. I don't owe this guy money. Like, there's no master splits on the BeatStars contracts, by the way. Yep. So all money that comes in to Kujo, which should be paid to Kujo, rightly so, comes from the publisher, which is nothing to do with me, by the way. I explained this so many times in this conversation, by the way, and he's adamant to say, probably short of like 50 times, pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So it's a very bizarre thing to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him patiently, never really takes it in. Anyway, he calls me a coward on this comment, so I pull him up on that. This actually starts to then rub me up a little bit. So I'm like, I pull him up on that. It's saying like, the hell, like, cowardly?
I've been frustrated with my own publisher, but there's been a faulty registration, of your publishing. Then you and me both are pissed at them because I forwarded them the contract from BeatStars for this exact reason, so you'd get all publishing you deserve. There should be a 50-50 split. Bet I'll edit it out, like I said. But why are you going back and editing stuff? Like, now it just seems like you're playing defense for whatever reason. You're trying to save face for yourself while also diminishing Ren's credibility. It's not cool. It's just stupid. If you can't take angry fans, you can't take criticism, you can't take people not liking what you're doing or what you're going through, don't do it, bro. Simple. Simple as that. It can be handled offline. You don't have to respond to every negative comment. I get negative comments from people saying I pause too much. I'll either say, hey, it's a reaction channel, that's what I have to do, or I'll simply love the comment, keep it going. Like, there's no need to go clap back at people on the internet. No, not everyone is going to like what you do. It's life. Deal with it. I don't understand why the copyright strike would have even been sent without anyone, you or my lawyer, telling me what's going on. I don't understand why your lawyer didn't tell you anything. That is on him. Like, was Blank warned about it, the copyright strike? Dude, my legal rep has been talking to...
Anyway, okay. I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed, so I still take his side on it, and I go on to reassure him he'll get paid his publishing money.
Man, I swear the music business is fucked. Yes, it is. I've been knowing this for a minute, but so much incompetence. Whatever the case, rest assured, whatever the split ends up being with publishing after this sample clearance, you will get paid. I'll make sure of it. So don't stress about losing any money. Love, bro. Thanks for having
money, because I want him to get paid his publishing money. Doesn't affect me in any way. So like, I was like, yeah.
Right. So homie, look, my solution is this: we figure out what percentage this Balkan choir is wanting from publishing. I have a feeling it's fucking stupidly high. Then we just talk out how to do it fairly, the lawyers. Then I'll go back to them with what we agreed on. I prefer to let my guy at BeatStars handle the legal stuff since I'm a beat maker, not a negotiator. And I have no idea what's fair and what isn't. Okay, totally fair enough. If you like, I can give you his contact info. Then you can talk to him to the direct. I just want to
I'll chase it
understand.
up for you.
Sure.
I let him know that I'm happy to split publishing if there's a bit of a grey area, and I'm kind of reassuring him. It's really important to remember this, by the way, guys, because some of the lies that are posted later make me out to be really unreasonable. So I'm like, yo, if there's some simple mistake, let's split the publishing. It's cool. I'm happy to do that. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes back to me and lies more. He says it's always up to the performer to clear the sample. It's not. It's up to the producer.
Yep, up to the
but
producer.
Unless there's been a conversation. But in this case, as you can see, we're willing to make concessions for you to get your fair share. So actually, it's me making the concessions here because he sold a stolen sample. And I'm like, you know what? You can still have some publishing split, right? So like, I'm actually being the one that's being quite reasonable here. And he's flipped on his head like, we'll be good to you, you know, because I've done nothing wrong in this situation. Anyway, I was like, and then he says, I was under the impression you would have received a warning. I had no idea that the video would be completely taken down. Another lie, as you'll see soon. He and his lawyer agreed to take this video down as a form of leverage. It was our only possible negotiation tactic to get a response. Maybe message me. They're scratching their head. How can we get a response?
Him.
Okay, we'll take his video down.
Because y'all see how easily he's messaging him back and forth now that all of this is going on? Why couldn't you have done this before you struck his video?
Issue a copyright strike, which also I didn't actually violate the contract, not intentionally. So the only possible tactic, dude, message me, send me an email. Like, you've messaged me before to tell me that you love my work, so like, send me an email about this.
Exactly.
Anyway, he says he also wants to wrap it up immediately and get the song back online. Another lie, as you will see later on, because he decides to stick to his guns and use the video as leverage. Anyway, the plot thickens. I get an email from their lawyer, and I'm not going to share it in case they start claiming I'm sharing things I'm not supposed to. But I get an email, and it says, on top of the publishing split, they want a £3,000 payment, right? They want a 15% retroactive split of the master, which has nothing to do with publishing, which means like 15% of everything the song has ever made since it came out. Retroactively, so since it's come out to this moment and then into the future, when I've paid for an unlimited sample, unlimited license beat, and with that you're talking money from record sales, you're talking money from streaming things, you're talking all of that when they haven't put any effort into promoting the song. He's made a beat and he's stolen part of the beat, and he wants 15% of everything the song has ever made for that, plus a £3,000 advance. Out of principle, I wasn't going to give him that. But because like, may have been slightly open to negotiations if they hadn't used the song as leverage and actually treated me like a decent person. I hadn't put like lies about the situation, right? But out of principle, I wasn't going to agree to that. And also to clarify, when I've been in rooms with producers and we've made a song from scratch, I've done a lot of like 50-50 splits, or I've done like 25-75, or with other collaborated artists, we just agree on a split that's like 50-50, 25. So, you know, like 15% isn't outrageous, right? What's outrageous is that they already sold it with an unlimited license right from the get-go. So you go into BeatStars thinking, I'm buying an unlimited license for this much money, right? And I was broke at the time when I bought that beat. So it's like, you go into the situation buying something, and then later on down the line, it can come back and sting you if they go, oh, this slight thing, well, we found a loophole here, which means then now you owe us all this money, right? So it's like, it was kind of unfair, because say you buy a painting off somebody for £10, and then the price of it rises exponentially because maybe the painter dies or something, or he becomes really popular. You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now, give me a bit more money for it, because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing. It wasn't about me losing money, it was about the principle of like, we've stepped into this agreement, and I was in full faith thinking I was buying an unlimited sample, but that's unlimited license, sorry, but that's not actually what's happened, is it? Right? And it says that if I don't agree to this, they're within their right to claim 100% of the song because I have breached something in the contract, right?
I want to read this because this looks like a lot going on. Sorry, y'all, about the pausing. We're almost halfway through. Mm. Mm. This is crazy. Yep.
Now, this is what I breached. Apparently, Content ID was turned on the track, okay, on YouTube. As you'll see from my earlier on in this video, I actually specifically requested Content ID was turned off, and my YouTube guide did turn it off. There has been something to do with the distribution where somewhere along the line, even after I specifically requested this, it may have gotten turned on at some point, right? Where this doesn't actually make any money, which we've got proof of, because I actually let reactors, I let content creators monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs. I've done this since the start because I believe that everyone should get paid. It helps promote me.
And he's a fucking great guy for that, you know? And not even just that, it's that he genuinely cares about the growth of everyone else. He's not in this for himself. And he recognizes, unlike UMG stupid corporation of a label, that this is helping him. He has people doing work and promoting him. No matter how small or big of an audience you have, you're helping in some kind of magnitude. I wish UMG would get that.
I'm not losing out. Everyone's a winner. A rising tide lifts all ships, baby.
Yep.
So, like, I'm like, they're using this as leverage, but legally, but thus is the world. They actually had something to lean on with that. So they were like, look, if you don't agree to these terms, 15% retroactive master split, this share on publishing, and a £3,000 advance against the master, we're going to take 100% of what you own. At this point, I'm obviously pretty annoyed, which is pretty understandable, right? Anyway, at this point, they've got my attention, so there's no reason they need to use the video for Sick Boi as leverage, right? So I give them a fair warning. I'm like, mate, if you don't put the video back up on Friday, I'm going to have to put a public post explaining why it's down. And I give him a fair warning, which is also important to remember, because later on he plays the victim, saying that I've put a post encouraging my fans to bully him, which I didn't. I gave him a fair warning about it. I never once encouraged them to bully him. I just needed to explain why my video was down, because this was proper stressing me out, and I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation. The time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So I approach him and I'm like, dude, look, I know that things got complicated here, but out of principle, I don't really want to budge on the master split for this thing, but I've got a much better idea, because a lot of my fan base are like now giving him, because I put the public post out, a lot of my fan base are giving him grief, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want this guy's life to get ruined because of this. Like, despite how frustrated it's made me, I don't want this guy to get ruined. I don't want him to get abused about it. I just wanted to get the song back. That was the thing. So like, I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, look, I thought of a thing, because I am a man of principle. I didn't want to bend to threats and stuff about the song being claimed 100%. So I'm like, I've got a much better idea. Let's make a song. We'll split it 50-50 down the middle. Master, publishing, everything. A song from scratch. Then if we do that way, it'll be like a fuck you to the industry. Yeah, you and me on a track. You'll make way more money this way because it's 50-50. You'll also get my fan base.
I'm going to speak on this later.
It's on your side. It's going to be a great thing. Because I'm always like, I want to look forward. I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look at all these things that happened in the past. I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more. And he rejected it. He turned it down, which I still think to this day is a bit of a silly move given what happened and what happened next. But it's a shame, man. And if you're watching this, you really should have taken that. I'm sure you are watching it. You really should have taken that deal. It was brilliant. Not only would it set you up with way more money, which is obviously what you most care about in this situation, but it also got loads of my fans on your side, which would also set you up for all things that you release independently as well, and you'd have come out this looking good. Shame. I offered you that olive branch. I offered quite a few olive branches on numerous occasions, which you weren't interested in. Then after that, there's a post on Instagram saying that I've stolen samples from people, which is bizarre because I never have. So I send him a message being like, he said that a British artist has got in touch with him and been like, Ren steal samples, which is obviously complete made up bullshit, right? So I messaged him about that. I'm like, what samples have I stolen? The Vera Hall one that I just put out, totally cleared. We cleared that with publishing company because I actually don't like steal my samples. And then any covers that I've done, they're just on YouTube. You're allowed to do that because there's a cover license on YouTube. So like, what are you talking about? To which he then just like ignores it, takes the post down, and then like and then just goes on some other
So this whole time, Kujo, like, again, what I'm getting from this is Kujo is coming from a place of, I have nothing to back what I'm saying. I'm in the wrong. I made a mistake. I need to try to capitalize off of Ren's success and get whatever I can off of this, because this may be the last chance. This is like a big mistake. And he dropped the ball on that. It's stupid. But I'm still going to speak on what he said about his solution, his idea. Because great idea, by the way. Great idea. But we'll get to that later.
Fucking tangent. So it's like kind of grasping at straws here to make me look like the bad guy. So we arranged to have this call with the lawyers and Kujo, and I'm actually really excited to have the call because it's the first time I can talk to Kujo face to face, deal with this like grown-ups, like adults, and talk to each other. But it's not how it pans out. So we get on the call, and the first thing that happens is the lawyer just says, "Look, Ren, I think that you taking this public was very unprofessional." And I was like, hold on a second, I wasn't the person who took this public, first of all. Like, taking the video down is an aggressive move. And also, I didn't take it public, first of all. Kujo was commenting countless things on his YouTube before I even make the comment. Calling me a liar, a coward, a numb. So, like, to say that I took this public, nah, I just responded to what happened and then explained to my fans why the song was down. Those posts are still up for everyone to see. All the posts on his comments are still there for everybody to see. So first of all, it was kind of like we got into it straight away with me like having to be like, I put it straight, and then everyone was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. The funniest thing about that call is Kujo was on it. He did not say a single word. Even when I like addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject and go, "I can answer that." And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's like, you know, like an adult. I want to talk to this person. And then my lawyer there's even a moment where my lawyer's like, "Look, I want to address this question to Kujo. Do you actually feel like this situation is fair?" He says nothing, and the lawyer interjects again. So for that whole call, which took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word, and I thought that was disrespectful, given the circumstances. He later claimed that it was because he doesn't legally know enough, and it should be between the lawyers. But no, man, like, regardless of your legal knowledge, we can still have a conversation like adults. Like, I'm not here to try and like intimidate or anything like that. I want to talk to you like a grown-up, brother. And that didn't happen. I wasn't afforded that luxury. I was talking a fair bit on that call about how I felt about the situation and what I felt was right. And I also said on that call that I didn't think that a retroactive split was right, because of all the reasons I've mentioned. But it is what it is, man. And then we came off the call, and I felt pretty let down by it, to be honest. This is where the plot gets even more ridiculous, and I'm sorry this is a long video, guys, but
no, don't apologize for that.
This is emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I message him and be like, "Yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples." Then I click on the profile. I realise that it's Kujo's girlfriend, so I immediately unsend all those messages. Because to be honest, look, he was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what? He needs someone supporting him, even though that he's been an arsehole. I don't want to like start messaging his girlfriend and shit. Whatever. I'll leave her out of this. But she sees that I've unsent the messages, and she instigates the conversation, says, "Have you done an oopsie?" We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it. It actually ends up being, it seems to me, like it's like semi-amicable after a while of talking.
The first thing I see is she said on the other one, why don't you just see him as your kin? Isn't that what he's been trying to do this entire time? Work with him, get past this, leave it in the past, work together and say, screw the lawyers, let's do this ourselves. Like, come on.
To each other. Like, you can pause this and read this if you want. It's like, basically the long and short of it is like, she feels like Kujo's been misrepresented and feels like it's a lot of the industry's fault, my lawyer's fault and stuff like that, which is kind of what Kujo feels like, right? She then threatens to break my kneecaps, which, even though it's a little bit out of pocket, you know me, I laugh about it. The thing that rubs me up about things like that is, if that had been the other way around, I never actually once got violent about this situation. If that had been the other way around, they would have been like, Ren's such a violent, later on they would have been like, Ren's such a violent person or using bully tactics, because they've spoken about like how I'm using bully tactics by simply talking about the situation publicly, transparently. She also gaslights me by saying, you know, like, imagine what would have happened if he had mental health issues. I have a very long list of mental health issues. I am the person with mental health issues. You're not considering what it does to my mental health, are you, when you take down a song that means that much to me, a song that I've poured into, that I'm exposing a part of me that's very vulnerable about my health journey? Like, you're not considering that, are you? All I've done is post publicly about the situation. I've never told anybody to send you guys abuse or anything like that. And actually, if anybody's watching this right now, for clarity, even though I am very annoyed about the situation, I don't want anyone to send them abuse. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm annoyed about the situation, but it's done now. The song's down. It's gone. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I'm not trying to ruin somebody's life over this. I'll have my own form of revenge, as you'll see at the end of this video. But I'm not trying to ruin anyone's life over this. So, like, if they say to me that I'm trying to incentivize stuff like that, I'm not, guys. I don't want you to go and abuse them, right? But it is up to me to talk about this situation fairly. So, like, we seem to make some middle ground. She's even talking to me about, like, her ADHD and knows that I've got ADHD, and, like, you know, maybe we just got... So I'm like, you know what? She seems pretty level-headed, right? So, like, cool. You know what? Maybe these guys are... It's just a big misunderstanding and we can figure a way to amicably sort this out. And I say to her, look, yeah, I'm happy to split the publishing, but I don't really want to split the master out of principle because I bought this, right? You know, but... Then at this point I start being like, you know what, maybe I'll split some of the master for the future stuff just to get this out of the way, even though I don't believe I should, because they've stolen the beat with a stolen sample. I'm like, if this just gets this over the line, I'm happy to split the future master. I even say that in the email thread to the lawyers and stuff, right? So I'm conceding a little bit here because I just want this situation done with. We end on a good note in this conversation. Then the next morning I wake up to posts from her all over my Reddit lying about the contract, and then I see a comment on Anthony Ray's video where he's talking about the situation from her, saying this is what the contract says, and she made up she wrote a whole passage that wasn't even in our contract. It was completely made up. So after her being super nice to me behind the scenes in this conversation and feeling like I wake up to read this and I'm like, I start losing my mind because I'm like, these guys, they're like, they pretend they're on my side, and then it's just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I pull her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, this is defamation. You can't be out here like making up stuff that's not even in the contract, you know? So she's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Right, so next I find a bunch of messages on Reddit from Kujo's girlfriend lying about the contract, which I'm going to put up here, which is actually very illegal, by the way. No, I won't be pressing charges over it. I just want to get this situation out of the way, but... So I'm just going to put all these up for you to pause and read if you want to. It's ridiculous, basically. She also says that I was obviously upset, so I wasn't the most cooperative. As you guys, if you skip back in this video, you'll see I was extremely cooperative when I found out what was going on. I was being very amicable when I was trying to offer Kujo solutions and being amazingly supportive and sympathetic. I refused to fully acknowledge that a mistake on...
This is insane. I'm gonna try to let the video finish out and I'm gonna speak on it. This is insane.
My end, causing Kujo not to get paid, was at the heart of all of this. It wasn't. A stolen sample was at the heart of all of this. Yes, the publishers, right, failed to correctly register Kujo, which wasn't anything to do with me. They've now remedied that, and there'll be a back payment for whatever percentage we end up on. No money's been lost here, right? That is something that was the publisher's fault, which I was very annoyed about, which I actually sent a message to the publishers about, explaining how annoyed I was about that situation, fighting for Kujo in that, when I didn't have to fight for Kujo because he was being a prick, right? So I sent that message to them anyway, fighting on Kujo's side, because despite all of this, I am a man of principles still.
Yep.
Right?
Principles and morals.
I kept threatening to sue and go public. No, I didn't. I wasn't threatening to sue. I did say I would go public if my song carried on being used as leverage. I gave them a very fair warning because they didn't need to use the song, the video as leverage, and they kept on doing that. That was because I kept getting hundreds of messages a day from my fans being like, where's the video, where's the video? And I wanted to address it all at once. And I also felt like I was being treated extremely unfairly, right? I had to accept by giving up all my shares of the song in exchange for a fixed fee. Yeah, that was between my lawyers. Ren took in public the next morning. Yes, I did.
Kujo also claimed to me and publicly that he'd been chasing publishing money for over a year with no reply, which is why he was so annoyed, as did his girlfriend. This was another lie, as proven in the next screenshots. I want to know, like, when y'all saw this, like, happening real time, how did y'all feel about this? Because this is like, it's kind of pissing me off, and I'm not even like, this is past, the video is up and everything like that, but this pisses me off just as a creative, as an independent artist and producer and engineer. Like, this pisses me off.
Right, let's take this home now. At this point, I've just lost all amicability, right? I'm pissed off. I messaged Kujo's girlfriend and him saying, it's the first time I've threatened to sue, but I'm like, if I see any more lies...
You get your money, but if I see a single post from you or your girlfriend on any story, reply, Reddit lying about this situation, don't play victim again if I tell the truth of this situation. And I mean a single one that gives any one-sided information about this, because you'll essentially be taking thousands of pounds out of my own pocket. I'd appreciate you acknowledging publicly at the end of this that you should have never sold an unclear sample.
From you guys about this situation. I will sue you guys, because it's like, that's my public image. Like,
I'm leaving now, but I'm going to make this very clear. I never once threatened to sue up until now, but if I see one single post which lies about the facts of this situation, I will sue for defamation. From either you or Kujo, stick to facts. Stick to everything that was said in these messages. Stick to the reality of the contract, then post whatever you like. Please don't contact me again. This has been so frustrating, and in our future, if your boyfriend is annoyed about something, tell him to contact the fucking artist about it and read his own contract.
I pride myself on the fairness that I show everyone that I work with, right, and my principles, and I'm also very against greed, and I stand against it militantly, which a lot of you will know from my work and how I treat people that I work with, right? So them spreading this stuff that I'm trying to be greedy here massively hurts my public image. So I was like, if you guys lie anymore about this, yeah, I'm going to do something about it, basically. And then I'm talking to Kujo and things get more heated. We get another email from their lawyer saying, you know, like, if you won't agree to our terms, we will take 100% of the song. That's where we stand on it. That is final. If you do not agree to this retroactive master split, we're taking everything. So I messaged back. I'm going to show you that email. I messaged back, essentially summarizing this email. I just say, I'm going to take down the song myself. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of you threatening me with my own song that I poured myself into. I've explained what it means to me. I explained to both of them what it means to me. So I'm like, I'm taking it down myself. I don't want to let them win over this. I've been in situations in the music industry before where I had to concede because I was broke, and I just had to let a powerful, greedy person win over me, you know, like, and I know this is not the same situation. It's not like Kujo is like this in this huge position of power here, but how they've dealt with this whole situation was ridiculous. So I was like, rather than like bend to this leverage and just out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. And it's ironic, man, because the song is about greed, you know, and it hurts me a lot that it's down now. It proper hurts me, man. I can't stress that enough because of what the song was and what the song meant to me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I sent these emails. I also sent a mass email out to everybody, the publisher, Kujo, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed at how this whole situation been dealt with, because ultimately at the core of this situation, the only person getting proper hurt financially from this is me, right? Because of my hard work that I've done to promote this music, because of my story and how that's been exploited. I'm the person who will suffer future losses for the earnings, and that regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second. That song I was proud of. What it meant to people, I was proud of. The messages that I get from people every day, telling me like how much they relate to the song.
Oh, this is getting to his. Yeah, he's hurt about this. He was hurt about this. And that's that defeat that I was telling you about. Like he did all he could. Oh, this hurts, man. This hurts from an artist standpoint. This hurts.
How much it helps them through difficult times, you know? Like, that's gone now. That's taken away from people. So yeah, pissed off. Anyway, so I sent that email out. Me and Kujo share some pretty heated words. If you're a petty person, you'll probably like to pause.
He said if you're a petty person, you probably like to pause. I just want to see everything that happened. Exactly. He's only about his bag. He's only about his bag.
On some of this, it's ridiculous. One of the things that took the piss the most that he said when I just lost my cool at this point. I lost all patience. One of the funny things he said after all this was like, if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. So he was turning it around on me when he'd used the song as leverage. He said, if you cared about your fans, you leave it up for them. Then he said, I'm letting my pride and ego get in the way because I'm not paying him money that I didn't think he deserved for selling a stolen beat, right? He's saying that that's my ego. It's my ego's fault. And then he's just saying, he kept saying, just pay me, let me get my bag, I want the money, just give me my money. I explained to him again, like, dude, I'm not the person that pays you the money. I've explained this to you so many times. It's the publisher. And he's like, all right, cool. It finally seems to sink in that, like, I haven't stolen this man's money. I haven't taken a penny of this man's money. The publisher was at fault for not registering it properly, and they're resolving that, and then he'll get his money from the publishing. I don't want a penny of that. I don't care about that money. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. He deserves a bit of money for making that part of the beat. Sure. He shouldn't have stolen a sample and sold it to me. Theoretically, he could have all of his publishing taken away, but even after all of this, I still agreed to give him a bit of a publishing split, just to shut him up, man. So it's like, I could have been even more petty and dug my feet in there, but I just want this situation over with. So the song's down. The funniest comment that I'm going to end this on, because this is going to be some album artwork, by the way. Single artwork, sorry. This is the next announcement. He goes, alright, peace. Your music sucks, by the way. Which is really funny, considering, the message earlier where he told me that it was an honour, or it was like, it was really good to work with me. Funny. It's funny, hypocritical. funny. But yeah, sure, my music sucks, brother. Cool. That's going to be the single artwork, which leads me to my last point, ladies and gentlemen. I'm releasing a song about this whole situation, and it's dedicated to Kujo. And it's coming out next week. It's coming out a week today. It's called Kujo Beatdown. And I love it. We made an amazing video for it. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing myself. I wrote all the lyrics myself. All the beats are mine. And that'll be going up on YouTube and Spotify next week. I'll also be recreating Sick Boi, because those lyrics and that arrangement is mine. So for the anniversary of Sick Boi the album, you will be getting Sick Boi the beat remade, bigger and better than ever, without Kujo's input on it. So look forward to that as well. And then there's also a third song dropping. There's a little bit more positive. Next week's song is angry, alright? I'm just going to warn you there. And before Kujo and his, before they start complaining about blah, 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 artistic license here, you know what? I've said my piece. I'm not interested in ruining your life, bro, but I felt like I needed to get it out somehow. And so I got it out somehow.
Yep.
And I hope you're watching this, man. And I hope you enjoy the song, because it's dedicated to you, baby. Anyway, guys, I know that this was a long video, but I wanted there to be no doubt as to where everything stood in this situation, and why you don't have a song that means so much to so many people and means so much to me. But there will be a revamped version of that song coming very soon, guys. And if you've made it this far, thank you sincerely. And I hope there can be no doubt as to this situation. Thank you.
Ooh. I don't wanna listen to any sneak peek of this because I wanna wait until I react to the song. Oh man. This is a lot. So one thing I've been waiting to say this whole time, as a producer, as an engineer, as a artist, anytime you collab with somebody, you provide somebody something of your work, and there's an issue like this where either you, let's say you accidentally use something that you don't own in the beat, and they come at you and they give you options to rectify the situation. For instance, Ren said, "Screw the lawyers, me, you, let's do this ourselves." He's offering an olive branch to not only fix this with you, create that relationship with you and that trust with you, but also give you another record. You know he's a big artist now. You see the fans, you see what they've done to your comments, and you panic responding to them. You get a chance to put the fans on your side, to team up with him, like he said, and give a big FU to the industry, and you chasing greed. Again, from the last song, Seven Sins, that greed will come back to haunt you. I don't feel sorry about Kujo, and I can't wait to react to Kujo Beatdown, but you got what was coming to you, man. Like, you can't just go out here, steal somebody's beat, and then, or steal a sample from something, sell it, give unlimited rights to it, and then say you want 100%, or you want 15% of the masters for what? A stolen beat? Like he said, he was much more forgiving, merciful than he could have been. But he chose to just, you know what? I'm taking this song down. I'm going to take the initiative. Y'all won't have this control over me. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to revamp it. I'm going to re-release it. And it's going to be better than what you did. I'm also going to give you a song describing this and explaining the situation in the very way that I know, the only really way I know how to, through music. Something you tried to keep me quiet in. I love the way he handled this, because there's so much that goes into artistry that producers, if you just produce, you probably like, yeah, I just made this beat took me 10-15 minutes. That doesn't account for the time that an artist puts into their craft, especially someone like Ren, someone who produces, someone who mixes and probably masters their own vocals, someone who records their own vocals, writes their own lyrics. There's hours that goes into a song on a beat that probably took you 15 minutes to make. I've made a beat. I've made a lot of great beats in 10-15 minutes with friends of mine. And then we sit down and write a song, and the song takes us an hour or two to write. That's a long time. Some people, it may take them all day to write a song, but when you get to a certain point and you kind of got a clear idea of what you want to get out, it can take only an hour or two. There's sometimes it may take me a week to finish a song. This situation gives me inspiration and really makes me want to drop my Jehovah song just once, so y'all can hear what I went through in that situation in my period of time, and how, again, music, what Ren turned to at the end of everything, was my only freedom of speech that I had. And I kind of now want to put that on this channel as a gift to the Renegades. I want the Renegades to be able to hear that song. So what I may do is I may release my song, My Jehovah, on this channel just to give it to the Renegades, because y'all been supporting me up until now. Y'all have gotten me to 1,000 subscribers, and who cares about the watch hours? Who cares about the monetization on YouTube? Yes, I want to be monetized. I want to make this as like a side hustle for now, and maybe make this my full-time thing so I can keep connecting with people. That's my favorite part of all of this, is I get to respond and talk to so many people from so many different places. And Kujo, you ruined that. And I hope that no other big artist gives you the same chance that Ren did when he made Sick Boi on your beat. I hope everyone saw this. Every big artist saw this. Every up-and-coming artist saw this. And when they see your name on BeatStars, they skip it, because that is greed. No one wants to work with a greedy producer. He gave you the opportunity to work and collab on this with him, and you said no. You stayed quiet when he wanted to just talk to you, get your feelings on if you thought things were fair. You stayed quiet. At the end of all of this, I don't feel bad for you, Kujo. I'm glad Ren took the route that he did. I can't wait to react to Kujo Beatdown. And in the comments, let me know if you want to hear my single that I've been holding on to now for years. I'm talking probably 2 or 3 years now. If you want to hear my single, My Jehovah, and if you want me to release it on this channel, let me know. Because this just inspired me. This passion just gave me like new passion to go and create music again. If y'all want that on this channel, let me know. I love you guys. My name is Tavares Keontae. Y'all find me everywhere. Peace. Again, and Tavares is my first name, by the way. Keontae is my middle name, which is a part of me I never accepted. So now you know that. So it's Tavares Keontae. But thank you for tuning in to KTTV or KTV. I love you all. Renegades, I thank you for showing me this. This got me all over the place, as you can see. But I love you all. Peace.